My name is Robert Christopher Wayne Weathers. I live at 3102 Center Hill Road, Edgar, Mississippi, 38841. I am under attack. People are driving parasites through me and my family from a remote location. So remote controlled parasites. I can also hear their voices. They're very hostile, demeaning. They keep threatening me and my family, and they are premeditating our deaths. They harass us constantly. They keep assaulting me and my family over and over again. And this is what I know. They just assaulted her lungs. So this is what I know, or I perceive. There's more space in the universe than humans can see. There are extra dimensions. We have biology in these extra dimensions. We utilize this biology to have an afterlife. So when we die, this biology leaves us and we're in it. So Scientology is the practice of utilizing this biology before you die. You remove it from yourself while you're still alive. And you use techniques and technology to turn it into a vehicle in which you can drive around. This technology allows Scientologists to do several different things. First, it allows them to create a hive mind. So this technology interfaces with our extra dimensional brains and it links us to a computer. Yes, we experience it in the third dimension. You experience your extra dimensions whether you're in them or not. I mean, whether they're removed from you or not. You experience them while you're still among the living. So this technology interfaces with our brains and it links us to a computer. This allows people to interact with each other in a digital world. They can communicate with each other. They can interact with each other. They can do things in the digital world. They can even have sexual relations. This technology, this technology also allows for the creation of surrogates. So it allows people to drive other organisms. They can drive humans, animals, insects, worms, and they can do this in any dimension. They can drive third dimensional organisms. This technology also artificially stimulates neural tissue in our nervous system, and it also elevates neurochemistry. So these people do this for a living. They practice Scientology for people. They take remove their biologies, they modify them, and they install technology, and they help these people access their upper dimensional biology. They help people use it as a vehicle. They also create surrogates, which is removing biologies from organisms and installing technology or modifying an organism in an attempt to drive it. They're conditioned to do this. They do this for a living. It is their employment. Now they have elevated neurochemistry. They have come up with an excuse to do this to the public, to the general public, to anybody they can, and anybody they can. I have severe brain damage and nervous system damage. My lungs and organs are damaged. They're using this technology to keep me alive as a life support. They are evil. They torture people for fun. They are twacked out of their heads. This technology keeps them stimulated. Plus, their neurochemistry is elevated with this technology, and they're also abusing substances. They have developed a very addictive behavior. And the only thing they are conditioned to do is practice Scientology. That involves mutilating biologies and installing technology. These people kidnapped me 13 years ago. They witnessed me practicing politics and writing literature on Facebook. I'm very intelligent and I'm creative. I write for fun. I inspired a lot of people, gave a lot of people ideas, and I got a lot of people to practice or participate in politics. We persuaded elections, policies, laws. Yes, I'm very sick, and so are my animals. No one's here that can take me to the hospital. These people claim to be affiliated with companies that practice Scientology. They call themselves Yumas and Preservision and the Lizard Company. So these people have been reading my mind and stealing my intellectual property for the last 13 years. People have been paying these Scientologists to do this to me just so they could read my mind. I yelled at them every night. My life has gotten worse and worse since these people have done this to me. They cause bad things to happen in my environment because they can drive surrogate. So the people that have been communicating with me are from companies like MPB, NPR, Facebook, Google, Fast Company, politicians, government agencies, the CIA, the FBI, the military. So these are media companies, marketing companies, social media companies, internet companies, tech companies, big businesses, the government, politicians, government agencies like the CIA, the FBI, the military. So they have been giving me worms and stealing my intellectual property and assaulting me and harassing me for the last 13 years. It got worse and worse and worse and worse. Eventually, they installed more technology that allows me to. They assimilated me into the computer. I see things and hear things. They also done things to my eye nerves. They removed some of them and installed devices or did something to them that allowed me to see things, Hear everyone's voices inside of my head now. This has turned into a snuff film. These people are conditioned to practice Scientology, which involves mutilating body part in an attempt to access heaven. They create surrogates, which involves biological theft. They steal biologies from people and organisms. And they have the technology to access another human's neurology. So they can access our memories or any part of our neurological system or central nervous system being threatened. When I don't make these videos, they go crazy. They assault me over and over and over again. They're premeditating our deaths. These people are conditioned to practice Scientology and to create surrogates, which involves mutilating biologies and installing technology. That is all they do. That is all they can do. That is all they know how to do. This is their employment. Plus they are criminal. Scientologists have become criminal. They like to kidnap people, harass people, invade their homes. They like to give people worms. So it's home invasion, stalking, invasion of privacy, weapons of mass destruction, biological warfare, assault with a deadly weapon, torture, rape, murder, intellectual property theft, biological theft, destruction of private property, so they can destroy food and water sources or the environment. These people are evil. When they assimilated me, some of them were hostile. Psychology has produced some very bad, or Scientology has produced some very bad psychology. Well, first, you take a rich person that already thinks they are above the law. They already do things like traffic humans. They already break the laws against humanity. Then you give them brain damage, and then you stick stuff in their brain after it's damaged, and then you artificially stimulate it, and then you give them narcotics, and then you allow them to do whatever they want to do in the world. So they have watched me create my intellectual property for the last 13 years. They have actually got to experience my psychology as I wrote it. I get happy. I feel joy. It's a natural high. I feel optimistic and good about the future. It makes me feel good. So they got to experience this. They see my intellectual property as something of value, and the experience of creating it is valuable to them. So they are trying to steal my intellectual property, and they have stolen my extra dimensional brain tissue and used it for transplants and surrogate purposes. They have also tried to link my brain with other people's in an attempt to gain my intellect, my intelligence. They have also tried to drive parts of my brain themselves, and the whole time they're blaming me for what's happening. They're victim shaming me. They gaslight me, harass me. They're trying to come up with some kind of narrative, a false narrative, which says it's my fault. And I think they're going out of the way to stage scenarios or to manufacture evidence in which, after they torture me to death, it supposedly gets them off the hook. So my intellectual property saves the planet, or is an attempt or a plan to save the planet or life on the planet. So they have come up with some kind of martyrdom story, which they torture me to death like I'm some kind of savior of mankind in a Christianity story. So they're going to torture me to death, steal my intellectual property, and then use it to save life on this planet, somehow absolve themselves of their sins. The Scientology has created a conflict of interest on Earth that we have never seen before. So our extra dimensional biologies come with special abilities. We have powerful eyesight. We can see in all dimensions down to the molecular level. They also have the ability to manipulate biologies. They can see inside of our biologies. They can see our nervous system lighting up. They can see particles flow through us. They can see our blood flow. And they can also see our entire biology, even if it's detached from us. So if our biologies are removed from us, there's an entanglement property where whatever we do to our third dimensional happens in the inverse or extra dimension. Like if you drink some water, water flows through your extra dimensions. They're abusing their powers of heaven to commit crimes against humanity. They're very criminal. These abilities are supposed to be used to help life develop, to grow, especially our extra dimensions. They're supposed to help us keep each other healthy and help us develop. When we do die, we'll have an afterlife. They're using these abilities to practice Scientology and to harm people. Yes, these are rich people, or people in power. They like to torture people. So they became angry with me after they assimilated me because I did not accept their advances. So they tried to take over my life. They tried to tell me what to do, how to do my job. I didn't accept their advances. So then more and more people came and they were hostile. And it got worse and worse as time went on. I've been kidnapped by the Hive so they could steal my intellectual property and to be exposed to my psychology. I have attractive psychology. I practice psychoanalysis and psychotherapy upon myself, and I've done things that these people have never seen. It is not a special ability. No, it's not. Y'all just don't see the human race. No, you don't. Because I've experienced it. I'm a third dimensional human, and I've interacted with other third dimensional humans. My idols are scientists, psychologists, smartest people in the world. That's how I developed these traits of interacting with smart people. I've had college level education. I've had several psychology classes. Y'all have never been in the mind of an author that creates his works. How happy it makes people feel. It's their hobbies. I have a hard time believing that y'all are God Almighty. Y'all appear to be Scientologists, people that have a very unique disposition or outlook on the world. Y'all are people that have a lot of power and ability, but you don't have a lot of intelligence. Getting victim shamed and harassed constantly. It is illegal to assimilate people into a hive mind without their consent. It should be illegal to practice Scientology on people without their consent. Actually, it is illegal. Actually, if you abide by the Constitution, it's illegal to practice Scientology. It is illegal, even by our third dimensional laws. These people practice Scientology on the public, especially people that have authority, in an attempt to control their behavior. So Scientology has invaded all of our institutions, media companies, marketing companies, internet companies, social media, tech companies. These people claim to be Freemasons and Skull and Bones affiliated. Some of them do. I keep having to make these videos to alter their behavior. When I don't make them, they assault me nonstop, over and over and over again. It usually involves driving extra dimensional worms through me. Sometimes it's with third dimensional worms. I have an extreme amount of brain damage. It's like the whole inside of my brain, above my midbrain, is gone. I got a hole straight through my midbrain, goes through my spinal column. Today they assaulted me up underneath my brain. The some of my upper frontal lobe on this side. They've assaulted me around my brain stem, underneath my cerebellum, up at an angle like this. They won't let me sleep. They do something they call gluon pleconating. They remove gluons from my particles, so it makes me feel numb all over. You know how when you get tired or you've worked hard all day and you finally come home and you rest, it feels so good to take a load off. You get an endorphin response. Kind of the same way when you get really sleepy and you got to go to sleep, your neurochemistry turns on. You start to fall asleep. They won't let that happen with me. They can control our particles, especially if they have our extra dimensions. They can do things to it to make us not function properly. I don't even produce good neurochemistry anymore. They have assaulted my brain very badly. I had to have what they call preservision. It is just a extra dimensional medical technology or medical practice, which usually involves sticking someone else's brain in my side of my head so I can experience their neurochemistry. Now, on the inverse side of the universe, or the extra dimensions, time is different. Time is not linear like humans see it. It's actually simultaneous. So the past, the present, and the future all happen at the same time. The beginning and the end of the universe happen simultaneously. And from the upper dimensions, they can see this. They can interact with it. So they can see the future. They actually control the future because they have third dimensional. They use this to hurt people and also to get away with criminal activity. They keep telling me, rubbing it in my face, no one's going to do anything about this. Uh, I mean, it's evil, bad evil, harassment, torture, rape. They're doing the same thing to my family. They're also doing this to my neighbors, coworkers, my community. They like to contaminate my food and water source with parasites, chemicals, and contaminants, upper dimensional. And I think they're doing it in the third dimension too. They're trying to set my biology up to where I'm going to suffer in the afterlife. They call it sending me to hell. And they're going to try to put my biology in a place where no one can get to it. They torture me in my sleep. They make me see very bad things. They expose me to very shocking and unnatural experiences. They've been doing this for 13 years or longer. I've been to hell several times. That's what they call it. Experienced electricity, claustrophobia, getting shot, experiencing strokes, brain damage. I've experienced dying. And these people are using Scientology or practicing Scientology on people without their awareness pertaining to their employment. So social media marketing companies, they're practicing Scientology on the public in an attempt to invade their privacy and to sell them things. The government is practicing Scientology on people for surveillance purposes to try to control their behavior. So is the military. So I'm very tired, but they won't let me sleep. When I lay down, they hurt me and they make me suffer. Say, so this is going to be a torture to death scenario. These people are going to try to come up with all kinds of excuses, false evidence, or staged scenarios, which tries to validate their behavior, especially if they succeed in torturing me to death. The truth is, they became angry towards me. They're irritable. They're easily offended. They see themselves as above the law. Plus, they want something I have. Because they have anger issues. They are angry towards me, irritable. They are artificially stimulating damaged brain tissue. Plus, I suspect they are abusing substances. They have elevated dopamine levels. It causes irritability and addictive behavior. They're threatening me again. They're talking about time. I never wanted to be a whistleblower. I understand the importance of secrets. Y'all have been criminal to me for the last 13 years. Y'all are breaking the law. In an attempt to save me and my family's lives and to protect the public, I have a responsibility to report criminal activity, especially if it's violent. So this is an attempt to alter their behavior. They've been making money off of me for the last 13 years, and they plan to make even more. So there are people making money off of stealing my intellectual property. People just paid to experience my psychology. People are paying for this martyrdom story to participate in it. People are paying to drive worms through me. They're also paying to see the snuff film. It's turned into a snuff film. See, everyone involved, their sensory perception organs are linked into a computer. Everything they see, smell, taste, touch, feel is being recorded. They like to make videos or skits. It's turned into evidence collection. They're manipulating or modifying or manufacturing evidence using these techniques. Say they're not going to use it. So I have very badly damaged brain tissue, and my lungs are very badly damaged. I'm on life support. Y'all are breaking the law because they can see the future. They can also keep themselves out of harm's way. I do have some means of self-defense. They create surrogates that are energy based. So part of our biology is pure energy, but it has shape, it has form and function. It's not supposed to exist on its own. When we die, we actually pull particles into this part of our biology. So it becomes modified when we die. It's part of our dying process or going to heaven process. So they can take parts of this biology while people are still among the living before it's been modified or before we use it, before it's been filled up. It's pure energy. Now this stuff can it can come down through your light bulbs, through the light beams. It can come in through the electricity in your walls. It can walk through your nervous system. They make little biologies out of it. That is what I perceive. I don't know the exact science. I know they do exist. I see them all the time. They're filled. I'm filled with them right now. I don't know the exact science or what they are. I just made a an observation. So these little things can drive worms too. The worms are modified and ready to use. I think that's how they can see for biology. So I can kill the power in my house. It's funny. They put weapons on my power supply too. So sometimes they allow me to fight back, but I feel that it's staged. They're breaking the law. They're getting off on torture. They're going to try to make me see things and hear things when I die. More of the same torture technique I do when I sleep, except this time it's going to be full blast. So what they do is they play some music. It's like a carnival ride, and I have to watch a biology or neurology hooked into a computer controlled by a computer, killing me or torturing me or driving worms through me. So this computer that everyone's linked into, it can control neurology. It can control our upper dimensions. It's hard to drive third dimensional humans. It can be done, but it usually requires uh, brain modification. So you have to give them surgery or give them worms or something. So you have to remove part of their brains in order to make them a true surrogate. Now it's strange. It's like when we lose inhibition, say a person gets drunk, or they can give you a certain type of medication that makes you very easy to drive. Some people are easy to drive than others. Yes, I have a lot of brain. I'm starting to feel funny. It's like my life support isn't working as good anymore. Get off my property. Preservation Inhumans has their torture victims. They have had multiple torture victims. And these people practicing Scientology have tortured people in the third dimension without using Scientology. They don't like me smoking, but I do it anyways because I'm being tortured to death. It helps with the nerve damage. And I've quit smoking on multiple occasions in which I've received mortal wounds. And they torture me. I do smoke. It's okay. Yes, it's very shocking to see another human being driven by a computer program, or to see parts of their neurology being driven. No, they do this to themselves. Preservation has, they treat our body parts like toys. It's part of our hive mind. So they can put you on a ride. They call it a ride. They got one where you ride the pink dinosaur or purple dinosaur, whatever it is. You do a dance around, riding the dinosaur, and you wink in your mind. You're breaking the law. Get away from me. So he sets up a worm to drive. He puts it on a skip. Yeah. Drives it. Drives the pink dinosaur, driving a worm through brain tissue. But then sometimes he just does it by himself. Most of the time, he just does it by himself. This is a recently new development. They made worm driving into a ride. I guess they're going to do it to ensure my death or something. I think they just did it. My animal. These are third dimensional humans doing this. They're going to claim it's not, but they are. They have communicated with me in the third dimension. I've seen them. I've been part of. They're part of my hive mind. They said me and my animals are going to die at the same time. I guess I can file another police report. They're going to make it look like they're punishing themselves. They said they already have everything signed, sealed, and delivered. That looks like Obama telling me that. Get away from me. You kidnapped me and put me in a hive. Get me out of it. Say you can. It's signed, sealed, delivered. Lock out of it. Well, that's your fault. You don't have a right to defend yourself. That is your own behavior. See, they have done this to me over the years. I'm being assaulted. He says, okay, now he's not Obama. Somebody has a look-alike. Say my animals losing brain function. You're breaking the law. Get away from me. You're breaking the law. Plus, you're lying. Get off my property. No, you don't. You're causing damage. You're not helping. They are anticipating an outcome where they're going to damage my body greatly, keep me up using life support. Then they're going to pull the life support. They have kept me sick. They won't let me work. They have destroyed my vehicles to ensure that I have no money or no transportation. That's what you get when pissing off the status quo. See, they continuously blame it on me constantly. The truth is, they are criminal. They are violent people, and they are angry towards me. They're irritated. I won't classify it as angry. Because angry, you got to have a reason to be angry. These people are irritated, elevated dopamine levels. It's a different emotional response. So they are all artificially stimulating brain tissue. Plus, they're using narcotics. They always have been. They keep their neurochemistry elevated. They have broken the law against me. Now they're giving me a nicotine withdrawal. So it was so easy. You're breaking the law, so people can't beat it. Well, these people have been acting on their own volition. They've been doing this themselves. Using technology to drive the worms is a recent development. They had this all planned out all along. They're planning it out. They won't let me and my animals. Breaking the law, get away from me. Now they're saying they're going to give me a specific brain damage. It allows them to create a surrogate. First of all, you're not God. Second of all, I have freedom of religion in this country. I have a right to be free from religion in this country. You cannot participate. You cannot practice religion upon me, force me into any religion. You can't assault me in any way. You are a foreign and domestic enemy.